Retro Game Station.
Welcome, ghouls and ghosts. Halloween is upon us. So stick around for some tricks and plenty of treats, as we dive into the 20 best retro video games, perfect to get you in the Halloween spirit. 20. Ghostbusters, 1990.
Ghostbusters is a platform shoot-'em-up with side-scrolling gameplay. The game's story involves ghosts terrorizing a city after an earthquake. The game features a choice of 3 playable Ghostbuster characters from the films: Peter Venkman, Ray Stantz, and Egon Spengler.
19. Doom 64, 1997. The player must advance through 28 story levels and 4 secret levels by battling demons, collecting weapons and keys, and activating switches to reach the level's exit while surviving deadly ambushes and traps. 18. Decap Attack, 1991. You play as Chuck D. Head through various side-scrolling levels to battle an underworld army led by Max Decap. Levels contain many enemies and hazards that can harm or kill Chuck. The fictional island the game takes place on, shaped like a skeleton, is split apart into many pieces, named after parts of the skeleton such as Abdomainland or Armington. 17. Medieval, 1998. Medieval is an action-adventure hack-and-slash game. Set in the medieval kingdom of Gallowmere, you play Sir Daniel Fortescue, and must stop antagonist Zarek's invasion of the kingdom. Dan must fight his way through Zarek's hordes, confronting all manner of beasts. 16. House of the Dead, 1997. The House of the Dead is a 1997 horror-themed light gun arcade game. Players use a light gun to aim and shoot at approaching zombies. Your pistols use magazines which hold 6 rounds. Players reload by shooting away from the screen. Extra points are scored by shooting enemies in the head, rescuing hostages, and finding hidden items. 15. Splatterhouse, 1998. Splatterhouse is an arcade-style side-scrolling beat-em-up with platform elements. You play as Rick, a parapsychology college major who is trapped inside West Mansion. After his resurrection by the Terror Mask, Rick makes his way through the mansion, fighting off hordes of creatures in a vain attempt to save his girlfriend Jennifer from a grisly fate. 14. Zombies Ate My Neighbors, 1993. Zombies Ate My Neighbors is a run-and-gun game. Mad scientist Dr. Tongue has created lots of monsters within the bowels of his castle and has unleashed them on inhabitants in nearby suburban areas. 2 teenage friends, Zeke and Julie, arm themselves with a great deal of weaponry and items to combat them and save their neighbors from certain death. 13. Phantasmagoria, 1995. Phantasmagoria is a point-and-click adventure horror game. It tells the story of Adrian Delaney, a writer who moves into a remote mansion. Adrian makes mysterious discoveries like strange music, warnings written on her computer, and ominous messages from a fortune-teller automaton. Carno, the previous owner of the mansion, had practiced black magic and had summoned an evil demon that possessed him and caused him to murder his wives. 12. Addams Family Values, 1994. Addams Family Values is an action-adventure game with slight role-playing elements. You play as Uncle Fester, fighting regular enemies and bosses, talking to members of Addams' household, and solving puzzles. There are 8 dungeons players can explore with a handful of side quests. 11. Alone in the Dark, 1992. Alone in the Dark is a survival horror game. Control private investigator Jodie Comer, who goes to investigate a haunted house or town that is full of undead creatures. It is widely acknowledged as an early instance of survival horror video games. 10. Haunting, starring Polterguy, 1993. Haunting, starring Polterguy is a comedy horror video game. You play as Polterguy, and you must bring various household items to life using frightums. In order to frighten a family away from their home. Play as a ghost haunting a house. What's more Halloween than that? 9. Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask 2000. The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask is an action-adventure game. Link arrives in a parallel world, Termina, and becomes embroiled in a quest to prevent the moon from crashing in 3 days' time. You must explore dungeons, solve puzzles, and fight monsters. The dark undertones and time mechanics make it perfect for Halloween. 8. Super Ghouls and Ghosts, 1991. Super Ghouls and Ghosts is a side-scrolling platform game. You play as Knight Arthur, who must save Princess Guinevere and rid the kingdom of the Ghoul realm, which is revived under a spell of Emperor Sardius, who has kidnapped Guinevere in the Phantom Zone. Weapons can be picked up along the way, such as a faster speed knife, hatchets, crossbows, daggers, and torches with short arcs that explode on contact. 7. Ghoul Patrol, 1994. Ghoul Patrol is a run-and-gun game. The game stars Zeke and Julie, the protagonists from Zombies 8 My Neighbors, who visit the Ghosts and Ghouls exhibit at the city library, where they find an old treasure chest containing an ancient spirit book. Naturally, they cannot resist reading it. Suddenly, a horrific snaggle-toothed spirit emerges. 6. The Curse of Monkey Island, 1997. The Curse of Monkey Island is a point-and-click adventure game. You play as Guybrush Threepwood as he seeks to lift a curse from his love Elaine Marley. Elaine is transformed into a gold statue and soon stolen by pirates. Guybrush receives guidance from the Voodoo Lady, who assisted him in his prior adventures. She tells him that to save Elaine, he must replace a ring with a non-cursed one of greater value which can be found on Blood Island. 5. A Nightmare on Elm Street, 1990. A Nightmare on Elm Street is a video game released on the NES based on Wes Craven's slasher film of the same name. You must scour the vicinity of Elm Street, collect the bones of the supernatural serial killer Freddy Krueger and dispose of them in the local high school's furnace. 4. Luigi's Mansion, 2001. Luigi's Mansion is an action-adventure game. Explore the mansion's rooms, hunt down the ghosts, find keys to get through locked doors and fight a boss ghost at the end of the area. Luigi uses a flashlight. A specially modified, high-powered vacuum cleaner called the Polterguy 3000, and the Game Boy Horror, which can access a map of the mansion. 3. Silent Hill, 1999. Silent Hill is a survival horror game. The game follows Harry Mason as he searches for his missing adopted daughter in the eponymous fictional American town of Silent Hill. Stumbling upon a cult conducting a ritual to revive a deity it worships, he discovers her true origin. The psychological horror style and creepy atmosphere make it frighteningly good for Halloween. 2. Resident Evil, 1996. Resident Evil is a survival horror game. The police department are investigating strange cannibalized corpses on the outskirts of the city. The Alpha Squad, Jill and Chris, are sent to locate missing team members. While there, mutated dogs cause them to flee into a supposedly abandoned mansion. Unfortunately, the mansion is populated by hordes of flesh-munching zombies, window-shattering zombie dogs, a giant spider and lots more evil creatures. 1. Castlevania, Symphony of the Night, 1997. Castlevania, Symphony of the Night is an action role-playing game. You take the leading role as Dracula's son Alucard and traverse your way through Dracula's castle. Superb graphics and gameplay, spooky atmosphere and great character animation and fluidity make the non-linear exploration a joy to behold. Finding abilities to access previously inaccessible areas like turning into a bat, a wolf or mist. Tackling a variety of bosses with no two being the same. Makes you want to progress further. Inventory items such as spells, weapons, armor and sub-weapons enhance the journey. A wide variety of areas and replay value make it a must-play on Halloween. This gothic horror masterpiece will keep you coming back for more.
Retro Game Station.